want to know if everybody can see my screen okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'll try to run through these quickly, but if you have a question or a comment, please just interrupt me. And this is the purpose of this training. It's basically to familiarize you with Shark Pond, which is the program that we put on. Entrapov is the 501c3 that's over the Entrepreneurs Against Poverty. Shark Pond is the vehicle by which we connect sponsors, such as the Preston Rotary Club, with entrepreneurs in Africa, and we're branching out to the Philippines. So this is becoming a very successful experience, and this is an overview of that. The training will cover what Entrapov is, what a Shark Pond episode is, how do you as a judge participate, who are sponsors, who are contestants, what does the host do, how do you prepare for the show, what are business pitches, what questions can I ask the contestants, and how do we as judges pick the winner, how is the award presented, and will I do any follow-up after the show? So we'll try to answer all of those questions. First of all, Entrapov stands for Entrepreneurs Against Poverty. It's an organization that brings charitable donors together with African entrepreneurs who are in desperate search for micro funding. So it's also a motivational company because you cannot believe how this encourages business startups, which means self-reliance. People can provide for themselves, and they become very successful. We just came back from a humanitarian trip to Ghana, where we probably visited a couple of dozen entrepreneurs. And I'll tell you, it was amazing to see one particular guy whose name is Rich's Laundry, and he started off with absolutely nothing. In fact, he was on church welfare, and his bishop said to him, he says, Rich, he says, you've got to find something you can do with your bare hands. And Rich, he didn't know what to do. He went home and he was washing his hands. He thought, what can I do with my bare hands? He's looking at his bare hands under the water, and it just dawns on him that he could wash things with his hands because he was washing his hands. And so the idea came to start a laundry. And he has been so successful. He took that micro funding loan, he bought a washing machine, and now he does laundry for everybody in his neighborhood. He's hired 4 employees. They have 4 washing machines. He's just going phenomenally well and branching out. And you cannot believe how this has motivated him as an entrepreneur.
Wow.
Entrapov partners with other service organizations who are likewise committed to growing local economies and building communities. And we'll talk about those partners. Obviously, Rotary is one of those. Entrapov is also a recognized IRS 501c3 charity. Okay, so what is Shark Pond? It's Shark Pond, not Shark Tank. You say, well, what's the difference? Well, Shark Pond is like Shark Tank, only it's friendly. And we're there to help people. And we don't walk away with a share of their business. We actually, what we do is we donate the money to the entrepreneur. However, the entrepreneur receives the money not as a gift, but as a microloan. The reason for that is important. Those of you who are in business know that part of business is learning how to handle debt and how to get a business loan, and that whatever it is you do, it has to make financial sense. And so we want them to be able to pay that back. That will go back typically to a local Rotary Club who will receive those funds, and in time, when the loan is repaid, then they can sponsor another entrepreneur. Shark Pond itself, it's a TV style game show, and it's broadcast on the Google Meets platform. Each episode is designed to provide entrepreneurs in Africa the much needed microloans that they need for their small businesses. Okay, how's it structured? It's a 60-minute show. We can trim that one way or the other, maybe 10 minutes or so, but that's generally how long they run. We have two contestants that will appear on the show live. They will make a pitch, and then they will answer your questions, and they will compete against each other for a business grant, which will be usually about $1,000. Some ask for less. Just depends on what they have to justify what the money's for. It isn't just working capital. So the way it kind of spells out, or the way it goes, is the host will welcome everyone, make introductions, and acknowledge those who've made this episode possible. Then you as judges will listen to the pitches. Usually those are pre-recorded. We do that because so many times we have internet problems, and we want you to have as clear a video pitch as you can, so you really understand what the idea is that they're pitching for. You'll have about 5 minutes with each contestant to ask them questions about their business. They can be financial in nature. They can just be, if you don't understand, how things operate in Africa, you can ask them, well, how does that work over there, and so forth. After you've heard both of the business pitches, you will go into a breakout room and deliberate privately with each other for about 5 minutes, up to 10 minutes, just depending on how long it takes you to determine who you think the winner would be. You'll discuss with one another who should receive the grant and why. And so then when you return, you can ask any final questions if you still are unsure about something that comes up in the discussion. You can then make comments. Am I coming through okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I just got a thing that said my internet was unstable. So if this goes down, call me. I'll just talk on and on. You can ask questions before you announce the winner. And then you'll pick one of you, and you'll announce the winner and explain why you chose them as the number one. Then you will also explain to the runner-up what they can do to improve their business idea, or essentially why you chose one over the other, and encourage them to go and make the necessary changes, just so that they can come back for another episode and compete again. There's often, we see that judges can't pick. They will find that there's two very qualified businesses, and it tears you up. If your club has the funding and you want to sponsor both of them, you can come back and declare that both of them are recipients of grants. So you have those options if you have the money to do that. Okay, so then the host, after you have done that, everyone will clap and it'll be a lot of fun. The host will explain the prizes and he'll make closing comments. I'll talk about the prizes in just a minute, and he will invite everybody to like, subscribe, and spread the word about Shark Pond. So that's a real general overview. Let me ask if there are any questions so far.
This is Steve. I just wondered if the people that are competing for this, have they received some kind of training beforehand, some self-reliance training or business training, so that they've got some, at least, the initial skills that they might need in order to carry out that business? I mean, basic bookkeeping, that kind of thing.
I'm so glad you asked that question. Dali Say, would you answer that question? Because I think she's been through it and she kind of knows.
Yeah, so basically what happens, the Entrapov and Rotary are running a 12-week courses that help the entrepreneurs to learn how to start a business or to get business ideas and how to grow that business, how to attend, how to keep the records and all that. So it's a 12-week course. It's the same as the self-reliance course that the church runs, but it's just been ordered for the African people rather than the American businesses. So, but yeah, so the simple answer is yes, we are running a 12-week course with them.
And the way that's done, Steve, is quite interesting. Every Saturday, Ben, in another platform of Entrapov, provides these courses. They also take the self-reliance course. They have to have a certificate of completion from the course, and they have to have a viable business idea. So you will not be the first ones to hear the pitch. It actually will go in front of their, Dali, say, is there an
Rotary.
advisor?
Yeah, well, they take them to the Rotary clubs to pitch those pitches first before they come to,
Yeah, so there will be others that'll hear the pitch, and they'll be pretty well primed before they get to your team to have these deliberations. Does that answer your question, Steve?
Yeah, I just wondered, there are two programs, two things that are taught, which my wife and I have both done in New Mexico. One was the self-reliance course, and then the other is starting and growing a business. And I wondered if that's the one that Dali Say is talking about, starting and growing a business, because they're two separate courses.
yes, that's the one. The starting and growing a business, that's the one we use as well.
Great question, Steve. Anybody else have any questions at this point? All right, let me see if I can resume my let's see here. Oh, I might have messed up. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I must have zigged when I should have zagged. Give me just a second. Dali, say, tell them more about the training while I'm getting this. Oh, here it is. It came up. All right, perfect. Let's talk about show prep, what you all need to do to get ready for the show. The contestants have prepared what we call business packets. And that's given to you. In fact, it's up and on the website now. And then you can read those packets. They will have a detailed funding request in the packet, a financial pro forma statement. It will show their background and experience of the applicant. And sometimes there's a pitch video. I happen to look at the two that you're going to do, and I'll show you those in just a minute. I didn't see a pitch video, and I asked Ben about that, and I haven't heard back from him. But sometimes you can even preview the pitch video before the episode airs. So here are the two for the Preston Club, the how do you say that? Aki Poultry Farm and the Green Farms 365. And have you received links to these yet? Anybody?
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of either.
Okay.
Haven't seen it.
I will, after this meeting's over, I will send out the links to these. I'll click on one of them now and to give you the idea. Okay, so here it will take you to the Entrapov site / the Aki Poultry Farm, and you will see here the information. Let me see if I can make this bigger. So this is the information here. It's describe your business, explain the problem, explain your solution, your business mission statement, how long have you been in business, describe your best customer, service or product deliverable, what they are, why the customers do business with you rather than with your competitors, how do customers know that you exist, why did you choose this business, and list your top ways that you'll find new customers. And so it continues. There's quite a bit of information here, as you can see. And so it's important that you look at this way before the show airs, because you'll kind of want to dissect this and try to understand the business model. And as you can see, it's a pretty detailed explanation of his business and what he's trying to do. Here are the income statements that he has. A lot of times, if you look these over, you're going to find errors in these. And so you'll want to really look them over. Make sure that they've done their math correctly, that they understand, all of the expenses. If you have a question about such things as, you're showing so much for loan repayment, but you're not showing so much for your personal salary and so forth. One of the requirements, obviously, in these teaching these courses is that they work for their business and they have to take a salary. They can't just take all of the profits that the business produces. They have to budget a certain salary for themselves. And as crazy as this sounds, and I don't know if you can see this because it's pretty small, but he's got self-salary right here. And every month he's paying himself $80. And, for us, the question might be, now, is that $80 a day? No, that's $80 a month. That's what they live on. And it's mind-blowing to imagine how much $1,000 can change the world for a business like this when their salaries are like $80 a month. And so here's a picture of his family, contact information, and so forth. So it's very thorough. I'll send you these links, and then you can go and visit that one and Green Farms 365. Does anybody have any questions about these? These are your two businesses that you'll be assessing. Does anybody have any questions about those before I go on?
Just real quick, can we ask, I don't know if it gets too personal, but can we ask about their working capital conditions, their balance sheet, just top end of the balance sheet?
Absolutely.
Are they prepared for that?
There's nothing that's off limits here. You can ask them, how old they are they married? Do they have children? I mean, we're not hampered by questions, and they like to get personal with you and then tell you about their life, how they became interested in chicken farming. And we had really an interesting experience. We happened to have the African Student Association at Idaho State University. We had four Nigerian students here who were the judges for an Entrapov show, and the two contestants were from Nigeria. And it was the craziest thing you've ever seen, because these people knew exactly what those businesses were talking about, and right down to which antibiotic are you giving to the chickens, and what do you do about such and such a disease, and everything. I was amazed at how conversant they were. So there are no questions that are really off limits as far as I know. Dalisay, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct. I think the only thing is to just keep in mind is that this is very new for them as well. They're still learning how the financials work with the business, because here in Africa, you don't really need this. You can literally just wake up the same day and start a business. There's no legal requirements. And so this is very new for them. So there might be some questions that they might struggle to answer, but I mean, it's really open book. Please do ask them.
Thank you. Having been through the training, they really should know, for example, what working capital is. But if they don't, you may need to explain it to them, but they'll know the concept. And I think both of these entrepreneurs, this is not their first rodeo. They are, I think they're probably up and running. They have viable businesses. They want to add something to it, and I'll let you dig through their proposals so that you can understand that better. Okay, quickly here, some show details and hints. Just so you know, the show airs live. There will be people that will tune in and watch this. They'll be from other Rotary clubs. There'll be a lot of people from Africa will watch this, because they use this as a way to prepare for them to make a show. We want you to make the feeling like a game show. So you've all watched game shows. We want it to be fun and easy going. So put the contestants at ease. And if you don't understand a word that they say, or if the computer glitches out, don't be afraid to say, hey, could you repeat that or explain that to me? And just be very down to earth with everybody. Be personable. Invite your own friends and associates. Give them the link. Obviously, your club, at least the way I understand this, we're going to be doing this at noon. And so your club will be watching you, and that will be a lot of fun. I don't know what the particulars are. Anita asked this question earlier, but my understanding is that you judges, and there's 4 of you, right? Because Anita, you're not going to be a judge, correct?
That is correct.
So Anita will probably be hosting this. Say, do you guys still meet at the fire station?
Yes.
Okay, so she'll probably be at the fire station and she'll have this up on the screen, but they will not be interacting per se with it. You guys will all be like wherever you are now, unless you go to the Rotary meeting and take your computer or phone into a different room, because we want you to be on individual monitors, because when the contestants see you, we want them to be able to see your name and to see each one and who is talking. We've tried doing this where we have the panel of judges sit at one table and try to all share one computer connection. Let me tell you, it doesn't work anywhere near as good as when you have everybody kind of in a row like it is here, where you can see the group and you can see the interaction. Let's see. Let me finish, see if I got any more here. 1 person per screen. Set your name properly before you get into the meeting. Make sure, because the contestants will want to know, well, who's Steve and who's Mike and who's Chad and who's Kelly. And so make sure your name says that on the screen. Get on a Google Meets and make sure you know how to do that beforehand. Be sure there's good lighting, and that that we're not looking at a picture of your finger or wrist or something like that. We want you to show up really good so that they can see who you are and they can see your name. So those are a couple of hints. Let's see what else.
Well, I think John needs that part about the finger over the phone here. I just thought I'd mention it too.
I just
Now I can see. Oh no, there's his hand still.
John, you have
we'll
a beautiful
practice,
finger.
John.
We love it.
It took me a minute, but I figured it out.
We'll do
Super.
a practice session.
You guys represent your club. Obviously, they're putting up the money. They're putting their confidence in you that you'll make a good decision on the business. So you're representing the sponsors. You have to make a commitment that you're going to go through those business plans and you're going to study them and you're going to be ready for the show. So that you put on a good show for your club, you put on a good show for the contestants, and you interact and you have a lot of fun, just like we're having here tonight. We want you to introduce yourself. You'll each have about 1 minute to do that. Tell them what you do for a living, maybe a little bit about your family, where you live, that kind of thing. They're very interested in you, and you will likewise want to know about them. And quite a bit of that information is on their business profile. Share what qualifications that you have to do this, and your interest, how you became interested in being a judge. Did Anita put a gun to your head? How did that work exactly that you became judges? Make the contestants feel at ease, and generally 3 or 4, in this case 4 is perfect for every episode. You want to be able to provide constructive feedback. And I think it's good when you split that up so that it isn't just one mouthpiece, that each one of you will have something to offer. What did you like about the business pitch? What do you think would make them stronger? You might have an idea that they haven't thought of. And as you share that, that will be big. Keep a notebook and a pencil handy so you can jot things down as you're going through, listening to them, questions that you might have. And then, of course, judges should become mentors and friends and stay in touch with them even after the episode is over. They may want to ask you for advice. I have one entrepreneur. He just loves to, he texts me about once or twice a week. and we've been in communication because he thinks I know something, and he always is asking me questions. And we've got a great relationship, and I hope you build that kind of relationship also. Now, I will come back to this idea, but let me just say that if a contestant ever asks you for money, you're not to give them money. That all the money needs to go through Entrapov, and so they know that they agree to that before they come on the show. They shouldn't contact you afterwards and ask you for money. So don't worry about that. That shouldn't happen. All right. Let's see what else here. The winner should contact you about once a month. We actually instruct them to give you updates, send you pictures of how their business is progressing, to tell you when they have a success, when they have a setback, and to kind of keep you in the loop. We really want to become friends through this process and have them report to you. There is a link. I'll send you this link as well with some generic business questions that you can ask, or not just business questions, but general questions. And they're not limited to these. Again, they could be any questions about, and you saw in that business profile a lot of sampling of questions. But sometimes just asking them what their biggest fears are, or how inflation, which is horrible in Africa, how do they deal with that? So you might want to, just think about some questions, jot them down. I'll give you these as ideas, but you certainly don't need to split these up and each one of you ask 2 of the questions or anything like that. You can handle this however you do want to do it, but be ready to ask them questions. Let me tell you a little bit about the host. I think Dalisay described Ben as a human angel, which is really interesting. Ben is a member of the Pocatello Rotary Club, and he's been a personal friend of mine for many years. He came up with the whole idea of Entrapov out of the goodness of his heart. It had a lot to do with Dalisay and his relationship with her, helping her to start a business. And as they started working on this project, he could see that the value of this was huge. There simply is no access to capital in Africa for small businesses. The interest rates there, what are they, Dalisay? How much do they charge for a small business loan?
Man, if you're lucky to be given one, to find anybody that can give it to you. But I mean, I live in South Africa and I'm Malawian, and I know so many countries that none of us are able to access to any of them anyway. No one will give it to you anyway. So there's none that are available for small businesses or for people like I.
Well, there you heard it. I mean, that's how it is. Ben and I looked into, as a part of Entrapov, creating banking relationships so that as these entrepreneurs grow and they come back and they say, is it possible to get a $5,000 loan? That's beyond the scope of what Entrapov can do. But if they've had experience with a bank and the bank can see that they can repay a loan and that they have collateral that they can pledge for the loan and so forth, they can get loans. But the interest rates they were quoting us were 18 to 20%. And it's just like, how can you do that? I mean, this is such an amazing thing that Ben has done. And I love him for it. And I support him with all of my heart. I think this is the best world service Rotary project I have ever seen. I'll just finish up this training really quick here. The role of the audience, there will be audience members watching you. They do not interact. They do not ask questions, but they will include people from your organization, other Rotary clubs, family members, friends of the show, participants. Please invite anybody you have in your circle of friends to watch. I guarantee you they will come away changed, because this experience is unlike anything you've ever seen before. These people are amazing people, and what you're about to do is going to change lives. What about the contestants? What's their role? Well, as we said, they have to complete the 12-week self-reliance course. They have to provide a business packet, agree to be on the show, create a video pitch. They have to abide by the judge's decision. They have to pay their loan back over a 2-year period. It is an interest-free business loan, and that will go to help future entrepreneurs. What about the role of the sponsors or your Rotary Club? Well, your Rotary Club has to put up a minimum of $1,000 for the episode startup funding. Now, these funds are donated to Entrapov. As I said, it's a 501c3. They oversee the awards. They take care of transferring the money to Africa, which is not a simple process. But I want you to know that of the $1,000 that your club will put up for this event, all of it will end up helping the entrepreneur. The Entrapov does not take anything out of this. All the other costs and fees that are involved are paid for by Entrapov, which in a word means they're paid for by Ben Davidson. And he puts a lot of money. This is his personal foundation, and he loves this work. So what are the prizes? Okay, you know about the $1,000 grand prize that will be given. Entrapov, in addition to that, will award a $50 prize to the runner-up. So you can be assured that even if you don't give the loan to both of them, that the other one will receive a $50 prize. That's, as I said, that's close to a month's wages. So it's not a small thing. The host will award a $100 prize to the first place contestant's facilitator, who taught the self-reliance class and helped them to get through the coursework and to help them refine their business pitch. That's because we have some very hardworking people in Africa who are helping to train these people. And this is an award or a prize that helps them and gives them incentive to get their entrepreneur ready for the show and ready to win. So those are the prizes that are available. After the show, what should you do? Well, you should get on and brag about it. You should talk about it to everybody, because I think this is the best kept secret in the world. As I said, I love this. We're going to take this project to the Calgary International Convention. We're going to get a booth up there and share this with every Rotary Club that comes by in the House of Friendship. We think every Rotary Club should do what you're going to do. And I cannot wait to watch your episode and see you guys do this. You're going to have a ball, and it's really going to touch your hearts. Be sure you get your families, your wife, your kids, have them watch this. You guys will probably want to do it for Christmas to help out down there. It's a wonderful thing. The episodes will be posted. They'll be recorded and posted on the Entrapov website, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and we will be publicizing their upcoming events and other information relative to the episode. Your Rotary Club will get a copy of it that you can use so that you can promote your club, because it's a pretty significant thing that you're helping out, starting a business in Africa. That's a pretty neat thing. And that will help us recruit more entrepreneurs, or excuse me, more sponsors to fund more entrepreneurs in the future. That's the end of my presentation, gentlemen and ladies. I want to know if you have questions. I'm going to turn off my screen share and just ask for you to go ahead and fire away with your questions or comments.
I got a couple of questions. The logistics of this on the day that we do it seem a little fuzzy to me, how we're going to do it. We meet at the fire station, but you indicated we should be in separate places. So if I'm here at my house or somewhere else, at the office or house, then how will I be able to meet with the other judges and talk it over with them? And how are the logistics going to work?
Great question. Yes, you will attend your Rotary Club meeting virtually the day of the show. You will essentially tune in to a Zoom meeting just like this, only it will be a Google Meets platform instead of and I think what we'll do is we'll start that meeting a half an hour early. So you guys, do you start at 12 or 12:10?
12:10.
12:10. So we'll probably start the meeting at 11:45, and you guys should get on early and make sure that your connection works, that your name's there, that you know you don't have lights in back of you and that kind of thing, that everything looks good. You'll attend remotely your Rotary Club meeting that week. When you break out, the question is what will the Rotary Club of Preston see while you guys are in the breakout room? That will be essentially, there are two feeds going on. One will be private, and that will be amongst yourselves. So the only people in that room will be you guys. Now, Ben may join that, or he may assign me or Dally say to join you. So if you have a question in terms of, well, what do we do when we get out of this room? That there'll be somebody to ask, but you will deliberate amongst yourselves, and you'll say, I think that the first business pitch was my favorite. Kelly, what do you think? What's your opinion, and why do you like whichever of the two entrepreneurs? You'll discuss it. You'll deliberate. You'll come up with who you think is the winner and why, and you might list maybe the 3 or 4 top reasons why you've chosen him, why you want to support him, why you believe in him, why you believe in his product, and what he's doing. And then you'll want to give the same advantage, positive feedback, a positive critique, if you will, to both of them, things that they could do to improve, ideas for the future. We want to see the other contestant back on another episode of Shark Pond. We want him to refine his business ideas and be ready. So logistically speaking, that's how the breakout room works. And from the time that the meeting starts, your Rotary Club will be watching this, but they will not have a microphone, so they won't be speaking on the meeting. It'll just be you guys who will be speaking. They'll be watching and not speaking. Does that answer your question?
Do we have to have 2 Google Meets up, one for the judges and one for the show? I'm not sure how we're going to get together as judges.
Yeah, it's a software thing. You don't have to do anything. Ben will actually manage that with a software tool. And so he'll say, we're now going to put the judges in a breakout room. You'll have a little pop-up window that will show up on your screen. It'll say, press this to enter the breakout room. And then I think he times that depending on how the show is going. But after about 5, 6, 7 minutes, he will send you another little window. It'll pop up on your screen, and it will say, you have 60 seconds to rejoin. If you're ready to rejoin and you don't need the 60 seconds, you can just rejoin, because that will always be a default option. But if you don't, it will just automatically put you back in the room with the Preston Club and with your contestants in Africa, who will all be on the Google Meets platform. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Perfect. Other
Hey,
questions?
real quick. Are the contestants, are they going to hear each other, or they're going to be separately brought in?
Dally say, typically speaking, they're in different locations, aren't they?
In different locations, but on the same show. So they can hear each other. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yes. They'll hear each other's pitches. I really can't remember where these 2 guys are from, but yes, they will hear each other's pitches. They'll watch each other's pitches. They will hear you make the announcements on who is the winner and so forth, but it's all on the same show.
Once we come out of the breakout room and we're back with the club and with the contestants, will that be a time when we each say something to them? Going to take turns sort of saying what we like or what we think where improvement could be or whatever. Is that when we do that with them? That's
correct. Yeah, you'll come back on and you'll say, well, we've deliberated. Maybe you'll say you'll want Chad to be the spokesman. Chad would come back and say, wow, we had a hard time deciding exactly who should win this prize. But before I announce who that is, let's just talk to you. Steve had a couple of things that he wanted to share. Steve, share with the contestants some of those ideas that you had, and then you will speak and talk to them, and maybe then John will, and then Kelly, and so forth. So you'll want to take a few minutes and just talk to them. Yeah, part of the reason for that is that you want to build up the suspense, because they're sitting there chewing their fingernails, waiting to hear, will they get the prize? And so you want them to have that a little bit of nerve-wracking excitement while you tell them, what did you like? What didn't you like? And then you say, and now we're going to make the big announcement. We want business A to receive these funds, and congratulations to you. And business B, we think you guys have got a great idea. We want you to work on a few things that we already talked about. You come back and present again, and I think you'll win a business grant too, or something to that effect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It seems to me that we want to make sure that the one who loses doesn't give up, because this I kind of worry about that a little bit. I've never the actual Shark Tank thing I've never liked, because I don't like to see these people go away losers, and hopefully this is not that kind of an experience for these folks who they'll want to try again, I assume.
Dolly, say, what can you add to help Steve feel better about that?
Yeah, that's something that I think a lot of us don't really like. So if they lose, they normally are given a chance to improve the business plan or the pitch. Then they reapply again. Majority of the sponsors, I have to say, they do find it really hard to choose between the two. So they normally, in normal cases, they both granted. But sometimes one is only granted, but then they are given opportunity to pitch again, just polish up their business plans or their pitches, get them ready better. Yeah.
I've actually seen cases where the club had no intention of funding both of them, but they did. And one of them just said, I love these other guys, but my heart is in business B, and so I'm personally going to fund him. I've seen that actually happen on an episode. I've seen it happen where Ben thought that the judges made a good choice, but they only had $1,000, and Ben said, I'm gonna sponsor the other business because I just think that he's ready to go and he needs the money now, and so Entrapov is going to sponsor the other one. Sometimes we've had them where, frankly, one of the businesses wasn't really ready to go, and they really did need more work, and so we sent them back to pound harder, and that's part of business, by the way. And so you have to understand. They have to understand that it's a competitive world out there, and that sometimes your competitor wins out, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But I'll tell you what, there's a great safety net in this, and we do want them back. And you guys can make it very, very clear to them that you really hope that they will be back after they've made whatever little adjustments they make. So one of the little things, Steve, that's actually a little bit hard about Shark Pond is falling in love with all the contestants and not being able to make a decision. So it's tough.
That is a real world thing, though, and so unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Yeah. Other questions? Kelly, did you have any questions?
No, I think it's pretty clear.
Good. I suspect you'll be scrutinizing those financials pretty carefully.
Well, maybe I'll try. Yeah.
Very good. John, anything that you have a question about?
Not at this moment. It's just an exciting thing, and I'm sure that we'll get it all together and figure it all out. I'm just excited to get part of it.
You guys will do great. You really will. Anita, how about you? Do you have any questions or comments you want to make?
No, I think it's all pretty straightforward, and we if I can just talk to my club first, just a quick second. We don't have an afternoon meeting next week because we're doing the roadside cleanup, but maybe the 5 of us could quickly meet. Chad has a big office, right, Chad?
Yeah, you can meet here. That'd be
Right.
fine.
Maybe we can meet at Chad's office real quick and just go over, exactly our plan. If you guys are good with that, I'll send out an email.
I think that's a great idea, Anita. I'll tell you, the Boise Sunrise, I have to just tell you this story because this will warm your heart. The Boise Sunrise, they did a judges training like this, and these guys decided that they were going to have a meeting. And I guess that meeting was some meeting. Those guys decided who was going to ask what questions and what the questions were going to be, and they were very organized. And when they did their episode, they literally were one of those clubs that couldn't pick. And they said, you know what, we're going to just fund them both. And they said, yeah, we're going to fund them both because they had actually raised $2,000 for the project. They had planned on doing 2 Shark Pond episodes. And when they couldn't pick, they just funded them both. And I got word today, actually, just today, that one of the judges on that has anonymously put up $5,000, sent $5,000 to Entrapov so that they could sponsor 5 more episodes of Shark Pond. So I just was thrilled to hear that. You guys are going to have a ball. That's the bottom line. This is going to be so much fun. And the more you get into it, the more you'll enjoy it. And you don't need to worry. It's like there's no penalties here. You will just have a great time if you make up your mind you're going to go on the show and laugh and smile and have a good time, and people will come away feeling great, especially you, and you'll have stories to tell when it's over. I guarantee it. So that's that. That's all I have for you.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah.
I will